Riot MMO launch map, a deep dive into Zaun predictions. Now, before diving into speculation, it's really crucial to understand that the official word from the development team, the project has seen some significant leadership changes with industry veteran Fabrice Condaminas taking over as the executive producer, replacing VJ Thacker. So that happened, I think it was the end of last year or the beginning of this year, where DJ Factor, the guy who I'm pointing to saying this, was said this, and then he was replaced a little bit later. Yo, I never made it to the live stream before. Yo, what up, Como? Glad you could make it. Brahm, give me back my door. Yes. Yeah, man, his story is so good. So VJ Thacker has been replaced. You know, maybe he said too much here. We know that, what was his name? Spider Crawler or Spirit? Wow. I don't know how I'm forgetting the name already. Well, he's not on the Riot MMO anymore, so he's no longer relevant to me. But he's the one who had initially announced it on Twitter, and then he ended up leaving. So maybe you shouldn't reveal too much about the Riot MMO. Let's listen to this.
But when it comes to the world, you probably did take into consideration the scale of the world and like how you're gonna approach it. Are you leaning more towards like segmenting the world and kind of like play the safe route where you have a lot of open spaces, or are you ready to like round up like a piece of the content and like ship it in its entirety? Is that even a question you can talk about at all? Well, basically, what's your approach to like, you know, the world at launch?
Ultimately,
What's your approach to the world at launch? He literally asked them. I mean, it took him a little bit to get there because he didn't know if he could ask that. And all these guys are smiling on the right side. And I don't know if VJ Thacker gets the look.
one of the most important things for us is to realize the world of Runeterra that exists in our players' hearts. We are those people.
Yeah. We want to realize the world of Runeterra that exists in our players' hearts, which is the map of Runeterra that we all see today.
Be in the world and we want to see it and we want to experience it. The path for this MMO in the long term will have that full world of Runeterra realized. So for us, it's just a question of how we get there, what the steps are, whether we start small, whether we start broad. We have some takes about where we want to go, but we have our North Star of like that full version of Runeterra, and we know we're going to get there. So it's just a question of the steps along the way.
We have our North Star, which is the full version of Runeterra that we eventually want to realize. He's saying that the North Star, I mean, guys, it's obviously this. Yo, thanks, Idris. Thanks for the follow. We have our North Star, okay? It's this, the map of Runeterra. That's the North Star, even though Runeterra is a lot bigger than this, guys, okay? It's much bigger. We can go through that theory another day. It's obviously bigger. We know of we already have maps of areas of Runeterra that aren't on this map. But I would say this is their North Star. This is where they want to get to. The path for this MMO in the long term will have that full world of Runeterra realized. So for us, it's just a question of how we get there. What are the steps along the way? We have our North Star of that full version of Runeterra. So this phase approach to the world building is a proven strategy in the MMO genre. World of Warcraft, for instance, first introduced players to the continent of Northrend in the 2002 strategy game Warcraft 3. However, this highly anticipated region wasn't made playable until the game's second expansion, the best expansion, Wrath of the Lich King, 6 years later. By holding back this content, the developers were able to build anticipation and deliver a far more detailed and memorable experience than would have been possible at launch. Now, I'm going to be honest, this Northrend is massive in World of Warcraft. Isn't the art director guy left the MMO team? Yeah, I say that Fabrice Condaminas replaced him, but I don't think that they changed the strategy. This is definitely still the strategy of like, we're going to piecemeal it out. I don't think Fabrice's goal, I'm sure, is to change maybe change the overall direction, they want to make it less like World of Warcraft. But I don't think that the concept here by VJ Thacker of we're going to piecemeal out the MMO is not still the case. That it's still going to be, we're not going to have this whole world of Runeterra at launch. It's going to be pieces of it, and we have that North Star. I mean, that seems like a more team direction than an individual. But Northrend is massive in World of Warcraft, and there's no way they could have realized Wrath of the Lich King in its entirety. If you look at, where is it? So this is the map of Northrend, but if you go to like the map of Azeroth, I mean, look at this. They could have included it at launch. Imagine you just include Northrend at launch. It wouldn't have been as big or as detailed as it had been. I mean, it would have been the freaking Barrens, Step 2, but all snow, if you know what the Barrens are. But, you know, this confirmation of a phased rollout is the entire base for the speculation, knowing that the team is starting with a piece of the world and building towards their North Star of a complete Runeterra. The question becomes, what will that first piece be? And so, if we explore the interactive map of Runeterra ourselves, we can predict the launch map. We need a logical framework to evaluate each region based on the developer's comments, established lore, and sound game design principles. In this article, we'll use such a framework to analyze each zone, break down the reasoning, and explore potential implications for the game's initial release. So I made a 3-question framework, and you guys are welcome to disagree with me. Okay, it's fine if you're wrong, and it's perfectly okay to say, hey, I think this. Just tell me, we'll discuss it. But this is the framework that we're going to go with. It's 3 questions. It's the core of the prediction. We're going to evaluate each region's likelihood of inclusion for the Riot MMO at launch, and if the zone fails the first 2 essential criteria, a 3rd question determines if it's better saved for a future expansion or not. The first question is it essential? Will the world feel incomplete without this zone? This measures its significance to the core identity of the narrative of Runeterra. And once we go through one zone, you guys will understand what I mean. Is it central? Is the zone geographically central, making its absence disruptive to player travel and world cohesion? This assesses its game design importance. So if you remove this place from the world, well, people have to freaking teleport to get through the map of Runeterra because it's not there. Is it expansion worthy? If it's not essential or central, does the region have enough hype and content to carry a standalone expansion? This is the business and long-term content consideration. So if both of these are yes, we don't even ask number 3. It's going to be in the expand. It's going to be at launch. If one is yes and one is no, we move on to number 3. Or if both are no, we would move on to number 3. And we'd ask this, because if both are no, but this is no, then it would be included at launch, because it's not expansion worthy. All right. Demacia and Noxus. I grouped these together at the start because it's an obvious yes. The world will feel critically incomplete without these 2 core empires. And you can see Demacia and Noxus here. Demacia on the left, Noxus on the right. This is really like this whole top region is called Valeron. Valeron is honestly, it's core Runeterra. Their stories are all an endless conflict and deeply intertwined. You can't have Demacia without Noxus, and you can't have Noxus without Demacia. Noxus with Immortal Bastion, Demacia with its Mage Seekers. They do have individual stories, but they're also very intertwined. Noxus honestly probably had a lot to do with the Mage Seekers in their present iteration. The launching with one zone but not the other would create a massive narrative vacuum. Central, yes, they are centrally located and make up a significant portion of Valeron. Their presence is geographically unavoidable for world traversal and cohesion. This whole section right here, Noxus, Demacia, Nock Merch, all this stuff, this is all going to be in the MMO at launch. This is Central Valeron, as I was saying, and Valeron really is like the heart of Runeterra. So, Demacia, Noxus, they're going to be in MMO. Piltover. Arcane was a success. We can't deny Arcane was a success. It was big. And with Arcane serving as the first introduction to Runeterra for millions, the world would feel empty without it. New players will inevitably look for the familiar iconic locations and characters from the show. Is it central? Yeah, it's honestly the gateway between continents. Its position is critical. It acts as the essential bridge between northern Valeron and the southern landmass, making it a vital hub. I mean, that's why Piltover is so rich, guys, is because its location. Piltover is the only trade route. There's literally nothing else. You go here, Guardian Sea on the left, on the right, there's nothing there. If Noxus wants to trade with the Shurima and they want to do it by land, the only way is through Piltover. And if Noxus wants to trade by sea, they're not going to go all the way up around the Freljord through this freaking ice sea, get eaten alive by whales, and then come around the Conqueror's Sea to trade with Shurima at Belzoon. The only way is Noxus is going to come up here, look at their port, go by sea, come down, travel through Piltover, and then port at Belzoon or Tereshni. Piltover is rich because of its central location. If you exclude Piltover, you're going to have to, it's going to be, if we just have Noxus and Demacia, and you don't have a Piltover, well, that's going to be the next expansion guaranteed, because it's required to go anywhere else, unless you want to go to like Ionia or Bilgewater. It's just too central of a landmass, and anyways, I really don't think Piltover would be a really great expansion on its own. It's the gateway. It's going to be there. Piltover, right now we're at Demacia and Noxus and Piltover, guaranteed. Those are going to come at launch, no question. Shurima, is it essential? Well, it's a huge area. A vast desert isn't strictly necessary to make the world feel complete at launch. Are there any major conflicts that happen historically between Piltover, Zaun, and Shurima? Piltover, Zaun, and Shurima. There's a lot of conflicts between Piltover, Zaun, and Ishtal, because Piltover and Zaun are always trying to harvest the forests of Kumongu, and Ishtal's forests are freaking deadly. I don't know if there's any conflicts between Piltover, Zaun, and Shurima. It's mostly just trade. And Shurima's never been, other than Ishtal down here, I mean Icathia down here, they've never been expansionist post that. This Shurima in present day, which like Piltover is a relatively new nation. It's not like the older ones, like Ionia, Shurima, freaking Ishtal, Freljord. Like these are the old worlds like that were there from a long time ago. Shurima in present day isn't as expansionist because it's not as powerful as it once was. Shurima is kind of in the desert at this point and hoping that Azir can resurrect it back to their golden age. But there's never been any rivals or fights between Shurima and Piltover and Zaun that I know of. Shurima is mostly conflicts around the void stuff, right? Yeah, and actually they erased this whole area off the map. Icathia does. If you go to Shurima and you look at a map, Icathia is not even on it. They want to forget about Icathia. They want to let it go, pretend like it never happened, because if anyone goes down there exploring, they could wake up the void as it's in like a dormant state. Yeah, nothing there between like Shurima and Piltover and Zaun that I know of. But if you go to like, I think, let me go to the Zaun map. Or is it? I think it's actually Ishtal. Let me go to Ishtal. There is a short story. I believe it's with Kiana. Yeah, Fit to Rule. You can literally see Piltover like forest forger machine going into the woods and trying to like get wood and stuff, and they're gonna stop it. Yeah, there's a ton of these like wrecked in the forest of Kumongra because they keep trying to harvest the forest and they can't. Shurima, is it essential? No. Well, it's a huge area and vast desert. It isn't strictly necessary to make the world feel complete at launch, especially when its glory is long past. Shurima is not like central to the story of Valoran with Demacia and Noxus and Piltover. It really isn't. Like at the end of the day, Shurima has a great story, but its story isn't of itself. It's tied to other zones. The best stories of Shurima come from Icathia and Targon. Even the Sun Disk of Shurima is not of its own like history. It ends up coming from Mount Targon. The aspects help them build it to steal the power of Aurelian Soul to raise immortal god warriors. So it's not like direct Shurima lore. At the end of the day, Shurima is a desert, and the best things are above the sand with the Sun Disk and below the sand with the Lavender Sea, which comes from Icathia. So I just feel like its story isn't there. It's not essential to the world. Is it central? Yeah, hey, it's a massive, significant portion of the southern continent with important port cities. You can't really get around it, making it necessary for world flow. That's the thing. So, like, to get to Targon, honestly, to get to Ishtal, I think Shurima would come before Ishtal, for sure. To get to Icathia, to get to any of these places, you have to go through Shurima. You're not going to get there any other way. Do you think they'll make us climb Mount Targon? If we manage to reach the peak, won't we be chosen as the next host for an aspect? Oh, we'll get into that. I talk about that when I talk about my characters at launch, like what classes it would be. And that video just went live this morning. But yeah, I don't know about Targon. Maybe watch that video for sure after this one. We want to talk about if you ever become an aspect. But we'll talk about Targon and climbing. Honestly, I'm still curious to this day. Climbing Targon is a crazy feat. I'm going to talk to you guys about that definitely when we get to Targon. Yeah, Shurima is a significant portion, but is it expansion worthy? While the current desolate landscape isn't enough to carry an expansion, Shurima is a crucial gateway to two far more compelling future updates. It will serve as the launch point for expansion into both Targon and Icathia. An Icathian expansion, for example, would almost certainly see the corrupting influence of the Void, the so-called Lavender Sea, spread further into Shuriman Desert, dynamically changing the zone for players. So my final verdict is actually that Shurima will be included at launch. I think it helps to make the world feel complete. I think if you only include Demacia, Noxus, and Piltover, which I'm very confident those are going to be included, like the world feels a little bit like cut off. You have to get something in down here. And I think Shurima is it. You include Shurima, the map feels complete. You're able to see Targon in the distance. You're able to see that mountain. You're able to see the void festering in Icathia, maybe just like a little bit of purple. Maybe you'll be able to explore the Sakalik and be able to like kind of see some void. We know, what's her name? Huge void beast is down here with the... You see her in the cinematic. What's her name again? I gotta find it. Void Champions, Legend of Runeterra. Oh, wait, she's a... What am I saying? She's a freaking League of Legends champion too. Right here. Rek'Sai. Yeah, Rek'Sai is literally roaming here. I don't think we'll be seeing Rek'Sai for a long time. Yeah, thank you, Rek'Sai. Bro, Targon art on the webpage is so breathtaking. It's my most anticipated. Oof. Look, Targon is one of the... And have you even learned about the Morai territory yet? If you learn about the Morai territory, you're going to like Targon even more. So expansion worthy, I don't think Shurima is expansion worthy. I think you need it for the world to feel complete. And so right now we're at Demacia, Noxus, Piltover, and Shurima. That looks like a pretty complete map. Freljord, essential. As a significant portion of northern Valoran, separating it off organically from the borders of Demacia and Noxus would be difficult without feeling artificial. Listen to me. When you get Freljord, the way you cut it off is with the mountain range. That's the only way to do it. It's got to be with the mountains. Tokogal, you can have like this little path here. You got Dalmor Plain. So the thing is, it's just very connected with Demacia and Noxus. The good thing is you got these mountains, the mountain range, so you could use it. Like you could basically explore all the way up to this little ridge here, and then kind of have it, something's blocking this way. And then over here is Freljord. So you can explore Tokogal, the Dalmor Plain, but I think you can block it off with the mountains here. Central. No, it's isolated in the far north and would not affect travel across the core of Runeterra. I mean, you don't need the Freljord. The Freljord, if you excluded it, it's not going to block any travel. Like you're not going to be able to get... It's not like you can't get from Demacia to Noxus if the Freljord is excluded. And then expansion worthy. Yes. Freljord is some of the best story in all of Runeterra by far. In terms of lore, in terms of just great lore. With Nunu and Willump, Lysandra, the Ice Witch, with the freaking demigods, Ornn and Volibear, the shaman of Udyr, Tryndamere and his ties to Aatrox, the trolls, Trundle, there's like a whole trolls everywhere up there. There's ice trolls. You do have sand trolls in Shurima, but the ice trolls, Lysandra, we got Lysandra with her three sisters, Avarosa and Saroda, who are probably reincarnations with Ashe and Sejuani. At least a lot of people believe that. Yeah, the Freljord is awesome. Like, I mean, this looks like an expansion to me. Look at this, holding back the darkness. A key point throughout the Howling Abyss, gigantic spiked barricades and stone and iron were set into the walls by the Frostguard many thousands of years ago. One day, when the Watchers reawaken, these meager defenses may buy some precious time for those above to prepare for the final battle. Look at these things. Look at these little people on there. Look at these spikes. The Howling Abyss, you can literally see it. If you go here, look, you can see Frostguard Citadel. You can see that little bridge. Right here is like, underneath that bridge is going to be the Howling Abyss. Guys, my favorite lore, I think, is definitely the Freljord. Look at this, the Eye in the Abyss. Warriors of the Keeper's Lodge diligently patrol the locations of some of the largest known Watchers, or at least those closest to the icy surface. This particular beast is known as the Pierce Eye, ever since it was skewered with titanic mortis stones dropped from the fortress high above. This eye is just literally watching over here, and they had called it the Pierce Eye. And this is very rare. These are three Watchers. If you ever read the story, The Eye in the Abyss, you read their story, and it doesn't end well for them. It doesn't end well for a lot of us, actually. If the Eye in the Abyss stays canon, that's like a future that you do not want to see. I'm gonna play some Freljord, Legend of Runeterra music. Yeah, freaking love the Freljord, guys. The Watchers are the biggest bad of all when it comes to Runeterra. Nothing's worse than the Watchers. Look at these tribes. Look at how they're moving here. Look at these beasts. You think that's going to come at launch? Sometimes the frozen sea routes take longer than usual to open up again. Impatient raiders may sacrifice a ship or two to build harnesses for their beasts of burden, dragging the rest to open water in an attempt to outpace their less enterprising rivals. Yeah. You also have the Iceborn with true ice. Look at the Howling Abyss. Worded gateway to the Howling Abyss. Look at this. It's such one of my favorite images. It gives you the idea of the scale. Look at these little guys here and just how vast it stretches. It's the place I want to explore the most, and I'm telling myself like it's not going to come at launch. There's the true ice. Ice-locked harbor of Glassport with its chained wolf ships. Yeah. I'm getting caught up now just looking at the images. Final verdict, guys. Freljord, it's not coming at launch. It's going to be saved for an expansion. Has to be. Bilgewater. Bilgewater is over here. Little island down south. There's your Bilgewater. Bilgewater Bay, you got the Buhru people. It's an interesting place. Is it essential? Its unique identity as a lawless hub where all factions can congregate fills a vital social and gameplay role that the city like Noxus or Demacia cannot. If you're Noxian and your buddy plays for Demacia, you are not going to be able to meet up anywhere over here. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, unless, like, Noxian guy walking from the Mortal Bastion to the great city of Demacia, you're going to get killed. Demacian guy going to Noxus, same thing. These aren't buddies. These are like rival kingdoms. They hate each other. Constant wars, history of kings being killed and people being slaughtered. It's not going to work out. Bilgewater is a lawless place. Anyone can meet up. We see Noxians and literally just running around in Rune King. You could meet up in Bilgewater. Is it central? No, as an island city, it's not required for travel between other major zones. It's an island. It's not required for travel. So with the 1 yes and 1 no, we go to question 3 to understand if Bilgewater will be included in expansion or saved for launch. Expansion worthy. An expansion solely about pirates might not have enough narrative weight. Bilgewater functions better as a launch hub, a stepping stone to other adventures, and a place to foreshadow the Shadow Isles and events like the Harrowing. A smaller update could explore the terrifying sea monsters that hunt its depths, or delve into the power of the serpent god Nagakaburos. So what I'm saying here is that Bilgewater by itself, and we gotta understand what Bilgewater is. This is Bilgewater Bay over here, this little cove. I think there's like images you could see of just what actually Bilgewater is. Where is that? This is Bilgewater. Oh, that's a Tales of Runeterra. Well, you could see a little bit of Bilgewater there. Yeah, I mean, you saw a little bit of it, but where's the rest of it? This is Bilgewater. Bilgewater Bay. You could see like the buildings stacked on top of each other, and it's like this cove area. Surrounded by treacherous straits and towering cliffs, Bilgewater Bay is as dangerous as those who call it home. Visitors are often seduced by seemingly limitless opportunity and become permanent residents, realizing that the longer they stay, the more they can exploit others for power and wealth. Yeah, and this is Butcher's Bridge. You can actually see it's like stretching probably right across here. Looming over the main harbor in Butcher's Bridge, an ancient stone overpass built into the cliffs, connecting the bustling piers with the notorious slums beyond. Some still use it to access the Temple of Nagakaburos, but now gather here to fight duels or exchange their illicit wares. Like, that just sounds like Hubspity to me. But what I'm not saying that you would get in Bilgewater is the Buhru people, the Serpent Isles, or Nagakaburos stuff. And that's actually over here. The Serpent Isles. That's separate from Bilgewater. It's the backside of Bilgewater. This is where the Buhru people come from, the original people of Bilgewater. While much of Valoran knows the archipelago as the Blue Flame Isles, to the indigenous people of Buhru, we gotta get this. We gotta get this right. We're talking about the Buhru people. Yep, Elawi. That's her theme now playing. While much of Valoran knows the archipelago as the Blue Flame Isles, to the indigenous people of Buhru, they have only ever been the Serpent Isles. Buhru's ancient culture is highly respected, reflected, and sometimes imitated in the daily life of Bilgewater, including traditional medicine and monster hunting techniques. The Serpent Caller. This is the Buhru Temple. Yeah, separate piece. You're not going to see... I think the Buhru people and all that will be saved for an expansion. It's not going to come at launch. You can see like the serpent callers and stuff, monsters of the deep. And then I think with the Buhru people and this expansion, when we explore like their stories, because the Buhru people tie really well into the sea monsters. That's when we'll go into like the monster hunting and explore maybe the swimming city. That could be all expansion on its own. But I think Bilgewater itself, this portion, the bottom portion, will be included at launch. And then that will come later. So half I would say. Ionia. Yes, it's essential. As the origin of the Vastaya with a ton of history, something would feel missing without this massive part of the world. Ionia really offers like a unique taste. Demacia and Noxus, they're very similar. You know, they're just like, they have a similar people and a similar vibe. Same with like Freljord, it's kind of almost similar, right? Like everything here has like a similar vibe. Piltover and Zaun, like look at Mbessa. You know, she goes to Piltover. Sure, she's from Noxus, that's obvious, but she still has a similar like aesthetic to her. I don't know what it is. But then you go to Ionia, and it's like a different. It's like it's not just separated by a small ocean piece here. It feels like it's the other side of the world. You know, like you're going from America over here to freaking China or Japan. That's what it feels like. I hope they really make the scale like they do in the artwork. Canonically, the world of Runeterra is bigger than Earth. I remember reading somewhere. Yeah, I mean, it could be. This is definitely just a section of Runeterra, and it's not the whole thing. We can just look at, look at, what is it? Camavor map. This is the map from the book, and they did a great job here. I think this was. No, I don't think it was me. I was like, did I make that? Because I know I made one. But yeah, that's where it goes. And you can see this Shurima here. Let me make it a little bit bigger. There's Shurima there, Valeron. So this is what we're looking at here is this piece, this world here. You can see Shurima on the bottom, Valeron up top. You can see Ionia up there on the right. It's right next to Valeron. And then this is Camavor and the independent lands. There's a whole other continent over there on the right, guaranteed, at least. So we already know that this map isn't complete Runeterra. And I think there's one scene where like, but I don't know if they made it canonical, but like the world of Runeterra shows in Arcane. Where is it? There's like a globe in Arcane. I remember I pulled it up one time in like someone's workshop, and it has not this one. It's not this one. It's literally in someone's shop, in someone's like store or something, and they have a globe of Runeterra, and yeah, it's not. This is like when Victor is doing his magic thing. Yeah, I don't remember where it is. It's gonna take me a while to find it. If I find it, I'll tweet it out. But I'm gonna end up finding it again because I'm gonna keep looking for it. But yeah, there might be like a whole southern piece. That's assuming that Runeterra rotates on the same axis as Earth. Wholly independent lands are bigger than Valeron. Yeah. Oh man, look at this. The independent lands, we don't even know how big they are. They just kind of trail off to the right. Like, who knows how big this place is? It's definitely bigger as the size of Shurima. And when you get like Icathia and Shurima and stuff like that. So this place is big. The reason that you see like no one going in the middle there where their eternal ocean is written, why the paths go around it, is because the Blessed Isles are there and they're hidden by the mist at that point when they created that map. So yeah, Ionia. It's the origin of the Vastaya with a ton of history. Something would feel missing without this massive part of the world, just because it's so unique, right? And the Vastaya are from Ionia. But is it central? It's a large archipelago at the end of the point. It has no effect on mainland travel. If you don't include Ionia, it's not going to affect you traveling between Demacia, Noxus, Piltover, and Shurima. But is it expansion worthy? Frickin' absolutely. Ionia is expansion worthy. It's the high fantasy theme of the first lands. The ongoing conflict with Noxus would easily tie it together with what the current story is telling, and a deep dive into its connection with the spirit realm provides more than enough material for a compelling expansion. The region is simply too massive and complex to do justice at launch. Ionia has some of the like deepest lore in all of Runeterra as well. Like, I would say Freljord and Ionia have the most lore. Honestly, I was surprised when they said Arcane they were going to do Piltover, and I know that there's a live action that's coming out that's most likely going to be on Bilgewater, based around Bilgewater, judging by where they're shooting, which is like in Thailand somewhere. It literally looked like Bilgewater to me. But like, guys, Ionia and Freljord have the best lore. Absolutely. In my opinion, but absolutely. Like, I was surprised when they chose Piltover. I thought Piltover and Zaun was some of the weakest lore in all of Runeterra. I really thought that. Especially Piltover. Piltover has like nothing going on other than being a rich port city. Like, the fact that they turned Piltover and Zaun into Arcane, man, imagine what they could do with the Freljord or Ionia. But Ionia, guys, Ionia's got so much story when it comes to like the Vastaya. Look how many champions Ionia has. They have the most champions out of anywhere in the world, but because the writers just keep wanting to go back there. You got the Dreaming Tree, which is the spirit trees of Ionia, all that stuff. You got the Kinku Order. You got Kane with the Darkin. You got obviously the Vastaya. You got Ivern, who could tie back into the Freljord in a lot of ways. And then the scenes of Ionia. And dragons. Look at this freaking dragon out of nowhere. Even though dragons, I feel like, are more native to Ishtal. What else did I want to show you guys? There was something else that I wanted to show you guys for Ionia. Where is it? Where's the... Hold on. Let me find it. Oh, an ancient and respected history. The lore goes, at least what we know, it's not like 100% confirmed, but this is the lore of the past of these titans, that the Vastaya Shirei, actually took the spirit realm into themselves to fight these titans. And that's where you get all of Vastaya from today. They were mortals that took the spirit realm into themselves to battle the titans in a war ages past. Vastaya family tree. If we go here, Vastaya family tree, you can see Vastaya Shirei over here on the right. Well, that's really tiny. Well, that's a really bad image. What about this one? There we go. You can see Vastaya Shirei. They took the power of the spirit realm into themselves to battle the titans, and then they, like, you know, mated with humans and stuff, and then they became Vastaya. And then the Vastaya branch off into these different branches. You have Ari, Tribes of the Sky, Tribes of the Sea. Those are the Marai territory, what I was talking to you about, Targon. So they all come from that. But there's so much history in Ionia. Have you done the Three Sisters video? If you want to learn about the Three Sisters, I mean, you should watch. I think you would really like this. Where is it? Lysandra. Yeah, watch this. How Lysandra doomed the world of Runeterra. You'll like that. Yeah, I mean, I talk all about the Three Sisters there, and it's a really good video. I put a lot of work into it. It took me like a month to make. Argent Mountains raid would be cool if you can even tame a dragon. Imagine. Yeah, see, like, there's just so much in Ionia. I don't even know if one expansion would do it. Like, you'd have to have 3 expansions in Ionia. Hi, I've been watching your videos lately. The air engineering, great job. Yo, thanks, Vane. Thanks, Vin. That means a lot. Yeah, Ionia, guys, maybe multiple expansions. It'd be tough to include at launch. So Ionia, I'm going to say, final verdict, it's going to be safe for an expansion. There's way too much hype around it, too. Like, imagine you're playing the Riot MMO and then they announce the Ionia expansion next. Freaking everyone's going to go off. Zaun. Let's get Zaun up. Is it essential? Guys, no. Only the top promenade level is needed to make its presence felt. Doing justice to deep multi-layered city isn't possible at launch. Before people go off on me, let me explain to you what I mean. Because people are going, oh, you're not getting Zaun at all. You need Zaun. We freaking love Zaun after Arcane. I know. Okay. But even in Arcane, how much do you really explore the deep levels of Zaun? Not very much. You got to remember there's multiple levels. There's the promenade level, which is the upper reaches of Zaun, exists alongside the lower districts of Piltover. Though the differing architecture means the two could never be confused. This is where the wealthy of Zaun gather to shop, dine, and trade goods and supplies for below. Where's that scene? Arcane, Vi, and group fight as kids. Remember they fight as kids? Yeah, it's like up here. They fight this group. But yeah, I should remember what I'm talking about. It's like when they're on their way back with the good haul. Yeah, the street fight. Yeah, this part. It's a street fight. They fight. This is the promenade level. It exists alongside. They're already in Zaun at this point. It exists alongside Piltover. It's not like a separate piece. That's the promenade level. And then when you see them go down, Arcane elevator ride down. Maybe a video. Where is it? Arcane, first Zaun, look. Yeah, when they enter here, when they get welcome to Zaun and you see like this part, okay, that's a great shot of what I'm talking about. That is the Introso level. And that's really where you spend most of the time in Zaun. You can spend like, maybe we can have like a promenade level. You should not be exploring the sump. There's so much down there. This image doesn't do it justice. The sump of Zaun goes deep, and then you can tie in Ezreal and his story and exploring the tomb, like there's like a tomb thing going on down there. We don't need that. I think you can include the promenade level, maybe a little bit of the Introso level, and then leave the rest. Like, you don't need it. It's not essential. And anyways, it's not central to the map. It's located directly beneath Piltover. It's not required for traversal across Runeterra. You can get everywhere you want to go without having to include Zaun at launch. But is it expansion worthy? Unlike Piltover, I do think Zaun has a decent, deep lore. The toxic levels would be amazing expansion. Be easy to block off the Entrossal and Sump levels with toxic smog, chem barons, or other hazards. Maybe you go too deep, freaking Warwick comes out and just kills you in one swipe. And saving that rich content for a dedicated future update makes a lot of sense to me. So as for Zaun, I don't think it'll be included at launch. I think it's going to be saved for an expansion. Ishtal. Ishtal. Is it essential? According to the lore, Ishtal has been secluded for thousands of years, using magic to keep intruders out. It wouldn't feel weird for it to be inaccessible at launch. End of the day, Ishtal, guys, it's literally a secluded jungle. No one accesses Ishtal thanks to Skarner. The whole place is isolated. The jungle will literally eat you alive. There's a story of a Noxian group. Basically what Noxus does is, let's say that you're very prideful and you have a big ego and you want like glory for yourself rather than Noxus. What Noxus does is they say, you know what, you're so strong and powerful and you're doing such a great job, prove yourself, go down and claim the land of Ishtal for us, like establish a base hold. So they send these people down, they come down, or if you have like a ton of debt or whatever, like you're in just a crazy amount of debt, they'll send you down, you go, you dock at the Serpentine Delta, and you start heading inland over here, and you pretty much go inland until you die. The jungle eats you alive. Then you usually spit out, and then people discover you like floating in Mudtown, dead in the water. Did they not change the entire Zaun layout for Arcane? No, the Zaun layouts, I mean, it's still there. There's one time when you do see the Entrossal level. Zaun, where, Vi. I don't know if you go to, I don't know if that's still Entrossal, if that's like lower. Is it? Let me see. Yeah, I don't know if that's like lower Entrossal or Sump level. Actually, they do call it the Sump, I think. So Vi and Jinx childhood home, there's like that one place with like it's just like this place. You guys remember what I'm talking about? It's like Vi's having these like visions of powder when she's down there. That's where Caitlyn takes her and they get some shimmer to heal up Jinx, to heal up Vi. That place is a Sump. You only see it very briefly. They don't spend a lot of time down there. The Sump is pretty deadly anyways. And it's probably like very tip of Sump. We're talking like the very top of it. So yeah, no, it's not located. It's located, and then is expansion worthy? Yeah, it was. Okay, Ishtal. According to the lore, Ishtal's been secluded for thousands of years. No one's exploring Ishtal. It's not central. Even though it's in the middle of the southern continent, players can easily traverse around it using port cities, so it's not required. I mean, you can travel around Ishtal, no problem. You go from Piltover to Shurima, Piltover to Bilgewater, and you can get anywhere you need to go. You don't have to go into Ishtal, and the people of Runeterra don't go into Ishtal to begin with. Is it expansion worthy? There's a lot of lore in Ishtal, guys. A lot of lore. When we're talking about, this is that group, by the way, that I told you to get. They get fried in Ishtal. But there's the Axiomata, there's the Elemental Drakes, there's the big city of Ishal Khan. I mean, look at this. The Axiomata. To the people of Ishtal, the world is merely a vast confluence of material forces, which they alone are capable of mastering. We gotta change this. They alone are capable of mastering. Each and every permutation of elemental magic, from the most simple to the most complex, is governed by a number of axiom, held almost sacred by the arcology that teaches it. Picture Avatar, guys. Okay, that's kind of what these guys do. The Vidalian is where they get tested almost. Within the cardinal arcology of Ishtal Khan is a grand chamber deliberate positioned at the very center of Ishtal, and indeed the whole of Runeterra. As far as the Ishtali are concerned, above the chamber hangs the Vidalian, an ancient artifact that can weave magic into material form. And this is like clothed in power, and you can see them using some of it. So like this guy, the Ishtali have long aspired to make the Axiomata part of their everyday lives. Using 16th axiom, this quarryman is able to haul stone from the ground and carry it as easily as a bag of feathers. So the 16th axiom, that's how many freaking axioms there are. You see this lady's like doing something with the dirt. This guy has like a fire axiom, a water axiom. This girl's using like a wind axiom to travel and deliver messages. I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about. And then there's this is like one of the axioms, one of like the temples. The further one travels from the cardinal ecology, the more specialized and prestigious the masteries become. High in the mountains, the mages of these relatively small arcologies combine their understanding of fire, rock, and magnetism to draw precious metals from the earth, crafting them into exquisite shapes with the merest gesture. Yeah, Ishtal would be a great expansion. Avatar plus Sacred Geometry. Yes, exactly. And then just honestly, the Elemental Drakes alone are going to be awesome. Ishtal, saved for an expansion. Definitely. I don't even question it. It's obvious that it's going to be saved for expansion. Targon. No, it's not essential. While the story is key, the physical place isn't. Seeing the mountain in the distance from Shurima would be enough to feel its presence at launch. If you come over to Shurima, and where we say Shurima is included at launch and you can see Mount Targon from the distance, I feel like that's enough. You can block it off with these mountain ranges you just can't get past, and Mount Targon is off to the side. But is it central? As a giant mountain off the coast, it has no effect on world travel whatsoever. I mean, you don't need Targon to be able to make it through the map. But is it expansion worthy? The story is massive. It's centered on the perilous climb up the mountain itself, the conflict between the Solari and the Lunari as the cosmic power of the Celestials, and the cosmic power of the Celestials. This doesn't even include its connection to the underwater Mirai territory, providing more than enough content for a standalone expansion. What I'm talking about here with the Mirai territory. The Mirai territory, you probably know one of the champions. If I go to Targon, let me open up Targon. I think she'll be here. Oh, she's not here. What's her name again? Mermaid champion, League of Legends. Nami. Yeah, Nami Page, League of Legends map. I think because she's under just Runeterra. After all, the Mirai territory is almost like its own place. Yeah, she's just marked under Runeterra. But where she is located, where Nami is located, is right here in the Mirai territory. And they have a lot of ties to Lunari and the Precious Stone and whatnot. And a lot of ties to the Void, because the Void is festering down there. After all, you have Icathia over here. And some of that's kind of seeping over into the ocean. Nami, thank you. Yeah. Can you see Targon from southern Demacia? I don't think so. I'm saying that when things go bad, you look youth for Kayle, of course. Yeah, I know Kayle went from Demacia to Mount Targon after their fallout with her and Morgana. Morgana stayed in Demacia, but I don't think you can see Mount Targon from Demacia. I've never seen like an image where you could see Mount Targon from Demacia. They do send Taric there, although that's like a whole banishment thing, and no one actually climbs Mount Targon. It's like if you're a criminal in Demacia and they don't want to punish you, like actually send you to jail, they force you, they say, okay, your punishment is you have to climb Mount Targon, and everyone pretty much just goes and lives their lives somewhere else. Like they go into the Freljord or they go into Noxmerch or whatever. They go to Noxus, it doesn't matter. It's like a banishment. One guy that actually said, you know what, I am going to go climb Mount Targon as punishment for myself is Taric. He actually goes down to Mount Targon and climbs it, and that's how his character is created. Yeah, there, yeah, punishment, banished, there's a punishment. South, not youth. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, you can't. I don't think you can see Mount Targon from there, but it's possible. They could do something like that. But I like to think that it's much bigger, and you would only be able to see even like. I know Mount Targon is massive, but I feel like even if you're all the way over here, you shouldn't be able to see Mount Targon. Maybe if you get like to this point, you can start seeing the tip of Mount Targon. Is it expansion worthy? The story is massive. Targon has some of the some massive lore with it, and literally the aspects are massive in themselves. Look at Aurelian Soul, which I feel like Targon is just too massive in scope. Because then we're going to start getting into the cosmos and stuff, and we ain't ready for that yet. Like we need to be just your basic adventurers at the start. And then what did I want to say? Oh yeah, when it comes to climbing Mount Targon, I think that there might be, I can definitely see a raid, right, where we climb Mount Targon. But do I think that we're going to reach the peak and become ascended? No, because in order to be an ascended, you need to literally merge with an aspect. So if we go to like Legends of Runeterra, Targon cards, aspects, maybe I'll bring them all up. I don't know. No, I guess not. So I'll show you guys some aspects. There's like the Golden and Silver Sister. Those are literally the aspects that merged with Leona and Diana. Just search it. I'll just show that one. There's the Golden Sister, and there's the Silver Sister. Where's the Silver Sister? Well, you can see them both in here. There's the Golden Sister, and there's the Silver Sister, and they're the aspects. Like these are, we're talking about freaking constellations that merge with a host, and they make them into an aspectual host. So these are aspects, and Diana and Leona are aspectual hosts. They are like used in a lot of ways by this Golden and Silver Sister to enact their will on Runeterra, because they're just massive star constellation people. If they don't come down to Runeterra, you know, they're in space. So That I don't think we'll ever do that. I don't think we'll ever climb Mount Targon and become aspectual hosts. I don't know even know if they're gonna make. Imagine they make up like freaking hundreds of aspects. So everyone can become an aspectual host. I don't know. That seems like a lot. Yeah, I don't think that'll ever be the case. Those are pretty unique and they're very powerful. So no, I don't think it'll be included at launch. I think Targon is be safe for an expansion, and I think it'll be cool to explore the Mirai territory with that. That'll be like a patch. Shadow Isles. The Shadow Isles. This one should be obvious, guys. Is it essential? Given that the deadly black mist and the fact that people who venture there rarely return, its inaccessibility at launch is perfectly aligned with the lore. It's down here on the right. It's not even accessible anyways. It's covered with black mist. Why would it be included at launch? Makes no sense. Is it central? It's an island off the south of Bilgewater and it has no effect on major travel, so it's not going to be included at launch. Is it expansion worthy? Easy win for an expansion, generating massive hype and big bads like Viego and Thresh. We go to the Shadow Isles here. The Shadow Isles is an easy win for an expansion with characters like Viego, and you can absolutely like lead into it pretty easily once you get into Bilgewater and the Harrowings. You got Thresh, freaking Maokai, you start exploring the Blessed Waters. I think the Shadow Isles are a great stepping off point to a bigger future for Runeterra, and then eventually crossing the sea into Camavor. But the Shadow Isles itself, included at launch, no way. You can see some images of the Blessed Isles, what it once was. And Viego really screwed this place up. But yeah, I can definitely see us, we're in Bilgewater, we start experiencing some Harrowings, which are Harrowings are where the black mist kind of starts spreading out, and Bilgewater is obviously one of the first places to get hit. I'm sure Ishtal gets hit too. I don't think it's like concentrated, but Ishtal is so isolated that we never hear of it. And I also think the sea monsters are definitely affected by this, which goes into my sea monsters theory, where they're way smarter than we think. So we are basically an ant compared to the Celestials. Oh yeah, we're nothing compared to the Celestials. They're playing a game of where's that Matt? Like just talking about Aurelian Soul, who's like one of the more powerful Celestials. Let me show you this. Aurelian Soul cinematic finality. Okay.
For me existing, I filled it with.
Keep in mind, Aurelian Soul has a crown on his head that's pushing him far away from Runeterra to the point he can't get any closer. This guy is very, very far away. The moment he gets close, these are stars, guys. Literal stars. Runeterra is a planet that orbits the sun. You can see a star on the tip of his freaking finger. This guy could flick us into nothingness, no problem.
But true power is.
What you're seeing here are flecks of gold falling from his crown. This is basically showing that Aurelian Soul's crown is finally weakened. And if this ever happens, if we ever see flecks of gold falling from his crown, and look how it's falling over the sun disk, probably something that he very much hates because it's a mockery of him. The guy freaking makes suns, and they call this the sun disk, and it siphons his power to make immortal god warriors. Yeah, Aurelian Soul is like massive, massive, massive. He's just tiny in the game, you know, for scale. And then at the end of this cinematic, look what you see. The crack is forming.
What's the matter, Targon?
On his helmet.
Losing your grip.
This guy is like, we're talking 1,000,000 miles away, okay? This guy's very, very far away. He's not there. The crown is keeping him extremely distant. And look at his head. I mean, we're nothing. And people always say, oh, you know, Aurelian Soul would be a great boss. Guys, we're not talking like freaking Deathwing, okay? It's not the same thing. What I do think that we'll fight with Aurelian Soul, if you go to like Legend of Terra, Targon cards, there are a couple cards that I think are related to Aurelian Soul that we can fight. But I think Aurelian Soul we're probably going to need on our side. We're going to need his boon. Like Inviolus Vox. Inviolus Vox is a dragon that's loyal to Aurelian Soul. That's a raid boss right there. Definitely. Inviolus Vox, the unshackled voice, is a single celestial mind who speaks simultaneously through countless beings spread across the cosmos. His legendary voice echoes through time and space, summoning his kin to him. Inviolus Vox has descended upon Runeterra and awaits Aurelian Soul's command to summon all dragonkind to this lowly place. Even this guy is freaking like cosmos level being, but at least he's like somewhat reasonable for us to maybe fight. And even he's a stretch. But you want to go to freaking Aurelian Soul? Come on. Deathwing and Sargeras combined. Deathwing, Sargeras, Yeah. We're talking Sargeras level, and I don't really like what they did in World of Warcraft. Like, I don't think we should have even known the Titans at all. I feel like they were celestial beings in a lot of ways. Like, they shouldn't do that with Runeterra. Like, the fact that we just fought, who was that guy with the scythe? In Legion. Legion, Death, Raid, boss. What was his name? Argus. Argus, the Unmaker. I didn't like this at all. I felt like it really kind of belittled the Titans and Argus and what they should be in the lore. I know you have to, we want to, like, see everyone and fight everything, but at the same time, it's like sometimes you kind of got to let stuff be too big for us forever. Mind Splitter is the most metal dragon. Yeah, the Mind Splitter. Man, I forgot about that one. Mind Splitter. Where is it? Legend of Runeterra Mind Splitter. The Infinite Mind Splitter. Travelers who look in the eyes with the creature are said to be struck by a knowledge so profound, on insight so awesome that their minds crumble beneath its gaze. Look at this thing. Yeah, one of the cooler cards. There are some ancient beings who come to be long before Runeterra itself took form. These creatures differ across the time and space for millennia, witnessing birth and death of entire galaxies as we witness the changing of the seasons. Now, what if those ancient beings could share their knowledge with us, impart us with the truth so intrinsic that would overwhelm our base minds? Tell me, how could we possibly hope to ever understand? Keep it like that. I don't want to ever understand. Okay, I don't want this. Not everything needs to be a raid boss. Some things need to be just massive, beyond scope, and that's one of them. But yeah, I was saying Shadow Isles, definitely expansion. That one's like one of the more obvious ones. Bandle City. Bandle City. I freaking love talking about dragons and relics. So maybe I'll do like a whole section on that, guys. I would love to talk more about them. And there's a lot of cards associated with him. Bandle City. Essential? No. As the city exists within the spirit realm, its physical absence from the material plane of Runeterra is a core part of its identity. Its absence won't prevent players from being Yordles. Yordles are all over Runeterra. I know people are like, but you have to include Bandle City. Where even is Bandle City? We gotta find it because it moves freaking every time you refresh the map. There's Bandle City right now. Okay? It's in the spirit realm. It has this gateway. Refresh it. And we gotta go find Bandle City again. It's gone. Where'd it go? I've seen it literally in the middle of the ocean. There it is. Bandle City. But there's Yordles all over the place. Even in Mage Seeker, there's a Yordle in that game who just spent their whole time in Demacia. Look at Kennen. Look at Kennen in Ionia. Look at Heimerdinger and Piltover. There's a Yordle pretty much in every single zone. There's Yordles in Bilgewater. It's not going to stop you from being a Yordle if Bandle City isn't included at launch. And it's definitely not essential for travel. It has no fixed location existing outside the physical realm, so it has no impact on travel. Is it expansion worthy? Bandle City would be a great expansion. An expansion to rediscover the Bandlewood portal would have huge appeal as people love Yordles and the zone can be as big as the developers want it to be. I think Bandle City will be a launching off point to something much bigger in the spirit realm. Because after all, in the spirit realm, you got demons, you got a ton of other stuff in the spirit realm. And I think Bandle City will be like our initial expansion and hub in the spirit realm. And you have like these gateways. I think eventually we'll make our way there through the Bandlewood. Is there a Bandle City Legends of Runeterra theme? I think there is. Yeah. Ooh. I love the Yordle music. Deep in the Bandlewood. While there are portals whose positions can shift over time, there are many that stay rooted in a single location. The magic of the spirit realm occasionally ebbs back and forth around such places, known as Bandlewoods, and they affect the local flora and fauna in strange, unpredictable ways. So eventually I think we'll find our way to the Bandlewood and find our way into Bandle City. But I don't think it's going to be at launch. Poppy's a great Yordle. My brother, I think his favorite character is freaking Poppy. Yeah, Poppy is another example of a Yordle that's outside of Bandle City and is in Demacia. I was talking about, there's one in Mage Seeker. I forget her name. She's like a red Yordle. Yeah, you got Poppy right there. You'll be able to make a Yordle. Don't worry about it. It's one of the races that I say will definitely come at launch and be included. So, Bandle City, final verdict, saved for an expansion. Icathia. I always call it Icathia. It's pronounced Icathia, guys. I always screw it up. Yeah, I can't get Icathia right for some reason. I always want to say Icathia. Icathia, is it essential? The lore is clear. Its very existence was struck from the maps after being scarred by a void rift. Its deliberate absence at launch reinforces the danger and mystery around it. I said this earlier. If you're in Shurima and you look at a map in Shurima, Icathia doesn't exist. And I want to keep it that way. I want the launch of the expansion, when you look at the world map, to not have Icathia. And people be like, what the heck, Riot? Where's Icathia? And you're in Runeterra now. Icathia was removed from history for a reason, because the void is literally like halted there. You gotta remember, the Void War, we didn't win that war in Icathia. It's not something that we won. We actually lost. One of the few known ways to combat the void is to starve it. With no organic or magical sustenance nearby, the void's material growth will slow until it eventually falls into a dormant state. That's what happened. The Ascended Harrock went down, destroyed a couple void hearts, weakened the void a little bit, and then we freaking left. And right now it's just kind of frozen down there in Icathia. And they don't want anyone going there because they're worried that if someone goes there, Icathia will get some organic material by killing that person and then begin wreaking havoc again all across Runeterra. So yeah, Icathia and the Void will definitely not be an expansion. I do think Icathia are not included at launch, but I do think Icathia is going to be... We're going to explore Icathia before we even go to the Freljord, because Icathia will deal with that and Belveth. And Belveth's story, I talk about that in another video, and I have an article on it. But where is it? Yeah, I went over that in another video, so feel free to check that out. But as for Icathia, we'll explore that before we explore the Watchers, and then Belveth will be like, "You fools! You have no idea. Like I'm not the threat. I'm not the greater threat. You should have helped me deal with the Watchers." Belveth's whole thing right now is, "Hey mortals," she specifically talks to Kaisa, "help me defeat the Watchers, and then I'll give you a little bit of time back," compared to the Watchers, who will just annihilate you, which is funny enough the same deal Lysandra gets from the Watchers. I can go on a tangent there, but we'll stop there. It's not centrally located, and it's a great expansion. It's an awesome void-themed expansion featuring the time-bending mage Zillion. I didn't even mention him. Zillion and the Time Wizards and all that. It will be a major draw, allowing players to perhaps even witness the ancient war against the Void, if Zillion's able to take us back there. Can Shen theoretically access Bandle City and the Demon Realm? Shen definitely can. Shen knows about the Spirit Realm all the time. Goes there all the time. He's like has a foot in both worlds. He definitely... I love this picture. Map of Spirit Realm, Runeterra. I love this picture. This one. I feel like this gives you an idea, and it ties well into the cinematic of Ionia. You can see the Spirit Realm right here. This dark spot right here in the middle. And I need to fix where the mouse shows, but I don't know how to get it to show. But you see that like demon looking thing right in front of the golden tree of peace? That's where the demons are located. I would say, I don't think there's the Bandle tree on here. I don't see a Bandle tree. Well, this is more relevant to Ionia and his journey. So this is like a piece of the Spirit Realm, but we can see the demons there, the Azakana, and a couple other places. But yeah, the Spirit Realm's a whole world. I like to think that the Yordles and the demons are kind of rivals because they feed on different stuff. But yeah, Icathia saved for an expansion. The class conundrum. People are like, well, okay, you're not including Freljord at launch, but I want to make a shaman. I want to make a spirit walker. Shaman. Or you're not including Ionia at launch, but my whole reason for playing Runeterra is I want to play someone from Ionia. Well, this rigid map creates a major challenge, class identity. Many iconic champion fantasies are tied directly to regions slated for expansions. How can a player be a spirit walker like Udyr if the Freljord isn't in the game, or a monk like Lee Sin without Ionia? A potential solution could be a small, isolated, instanced starting zones. A player might begin their journey in a small patch of the Freljord before an early story beat sends them into the wider shared world, with the promise of returning to their homeland in a future expansion. This allows for the class diversity at launch while preserving the impact of unlocking like entire new regions later. So if you're a spirit walker shaman, you'll maybe start out in the Freljord, and then you'll have this little starting zone. You'll learn about the spirit walker with Udyr, and then Udyr tells you, you have a mission. You have to leave the Freljord, and hopefully you'll return one day, and you go to Tokogal and Knockmerch, and you end up like, in Valeron. Same thing with Ionia. Maybe you learn under Lee Sin, and he tells you, great job, but we need your help over there, and we'll see you again much later. And you take a little boat, your little canoe, and you head over to Basilich to save all the centaur from the evil Noxians. You know, something like that. You can absolutely do that. That's not a problem. So the final verdict, my final thing that says, hey, this is what it's going to be. Ultimately, this framework presents a logical and pragmatic vision for the Riot MMO launch. It's prioritizing a stable, narrative-focused core world centered on Valoran, while strategically holding back high-concept zones to fuel years of post-launch content. While purely speculation, the reasoning aligns with common MMO development practices below is my summary. Very likely included, you got Demacia, Noxus, and Piltover included at launch. Likely included is Shurima and Bilgewater. I think those are likely. They're not as likely as Demacia, Noxus, and Piltover, but odds are like these will be kind of included. Bilgewater is that hub city. Shurima will help you feel that southern area of Runeterra. Likely not included. Ishtal, Ionia, Targon, Freljord, saved for expansion. And then extremely likely, I think not included, is the deeper levels of Zaun, Shadow Isles, Bandle City, and Icathia. Those will definitely be saved for expansion. Kinku expansion would be awesome. Yeah, there's so much story in Ionia, you could have multiple expansions. Easily. And that is my list, guys. That is the Riot MMO launch map, a deep dive into zone predictions.